Welcome back to the second video in our part modelling series. In this video, I'm going to pick up where I left off and continue designing this steering knuckle. So far, we've created two sketches and used those sketches to add material using the boss extrude and the revolve feature. Next, we're going to look at removing some material using the extrude cut feature. The sketch for this feature is going to be a simple rectangle, drawn on the right plane. Rather than defining the size of the rectangle, because there is existing geometry, we can instead add dimensions from the geometry's edges. This means that if the size of the underlying feature changes, the size of our cut will also update. I'll set a wall thickness and an offset from the bottom of the cylinder. The centre line is snapped to the origin and the midpoint of the rectangle's lower edge. This makes the rectangle respond symmetrically, meaning that the wall thickness only needs a dimension adding on one side. In the last video we discussed end conditions when adding the boss extrude feature. Because there are now existing features in the model, the other available end conditions can be used. For this cut, I would like material to be removed in both directions, and for the cut to always pass all the way through the part. This is the perfect opportunity to use through all in both directions. The benefit of using through all is that if the part gets larger in size, the cuts will still pass all the way through, as the depth of the cut isn't restricted. You can see this as I increase the size of the cylindrical boss. Because we defined the offset from the edge within the sketch too, notice how the wall thickness is maintained, with the cut width increasing when the diameter is increased. The next sketch is going to be for another cut, and I'll sketch it out on the front plane. This cut is going to be slightly different to the last, as the sketch is not going to be created as an enclosed area, but instead will be open. You can see that it consists of a few straight lines and a radius. When the cut feature is prompted this time, it becomes important to keep an eye on the directional arrow that is shown on the sketch. The arrow lets you toggle whether the cut is going to remove material on one side or the other of the sketch. You can either toggle the arrow in the viewport or use the flip side to cut tick box in the properties, as it is the same option. This cut is needed on both sides of the part. Rather than creating the same sketch on the right hand side and adding another cut, we can instead mirror the first cut. Mirroring is really useful as it removes the need for feature duplication, and also means that if the profile or dimensions of the original feature change, they will also change in the mirrored feature. Many features in SolidWorks support preselection. Preselection dramatically reduces design time as the selections required for a feature can be picked before prompting the feature. This ensures that the correct selections are added to the correct boxes within the feature, without the need to manually navigate to them. From the feature manager, if I hold Ctrl, I can select the right plane and the Cut-Extrude feature just added. When the mirror feature is selected, which is here on the features menu, a preview appears straight away as the selections are automatically added to the correct boxes. You can of course not pre-select, and this means that once in the mirror feature, you'll need to choose the relevant selection box first and then choose what should go in it. So for example, if I delete the cut feature from this selection box, to reselect it, I firstly need to make sure the feature selection is active, shown by the blue colour. I can then expand the feature manager that sits inside the viewport and choose the feature from the tree. So far, every sketch we have created has been on a plane, but sketches can be created on any flat surface. I'll rotate the part around so that I can see one of the internal cut faces. As this face is flat, I can select it and start a new sketch on it. Often when sketching, it's easier to look normal to the sketch plane, but you can also sketch whilst looking at the part in 3D. Here I'll add in a single circular sketch, snapped to the midpoint of the upper edge, and add a dimension that ensures the radius of the circle is always 1mm away from the edge of the upright. To do this, I'll pick the straight edge first, and then holding Shift, select the circle. The shift selection ensures that the edge of the circle is selected as opposed to the centre, which is what would happen had shift not been held down. We're going to use this sketch to create another extrude boss feature with a blind end condition and an extrude length of 11mm. Just like with the cut a little while ago, I need this boss feature to exist on both sides of the part. So again, I'll add in a mirror. Using preselection, I'll choose the front plane and the boss extrude feature from the feature manager, and then click the mirror feature on the features tab, followed by the green tick. This part is really starting to come together now, and the main geometry is taking shape. To finish the part off, it just needs some material removing to form a few holes, along with the addition of some fillets and chamfers. I'll cover this in the next video, which will be the last in this mini-series, so make sure to check that out next. And if you need to create marketing material and assembly instructions, why not try Cadacio? Turn your SolidWorks files into interactive 3D presentations that you can share online. Sign up today and try for free at cadacio.com.